What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that sub button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to cover one that I forgot to get to last week. It's one of the ones that we have backlogged that we need to get to, and since we have a couple of King in Black issues coming out, we might as well cover this while we got some time waiting for those issues to hit. And this video is going to be King in Black, Symbiote Spider-Man, issue number 4. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with this line or the King in Black event, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything King in Black related. Now, so far in the Symbiote Spider-Man line, we've seen an individual by the name of Mr. E, a shadow being created by Knowhere, kind of like an early prototype of the symbiotes, bonded with Alistar Smith. And he ended up getting a hold of the Ebony Blade. And now Spider-Man, along with Kang the Conqueror, Rocket Raccoon, and Captain Marvel, aka Monica Rambeau. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. Alright guys, so picking up with this issue, issue 4 takes us to Knowhere. And we see Ulik the Troll. And Ulik is facing off with Mr. E, who is wielding the Ebony Blade. Not realizing it, his sister, Ulik, is behind him. And this throws him off guard and gives Mr. E enough time to jab the Ebony Blade into his chest. But it doesn't take him down. And this is where his sister steps in to try to defend him, only for him to be swept away. And he's swept away by Cosmo the dog. But while he was getting swept away, Ulik the Troll was accidentally swept through. And they get on the other side and they start battling it out. And this is when we see the arrival of Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is doing his best to try to take this blade from him. And he uses his web to grab hold of the sword. And this is when Rocket Raccoon comes out of left field and starts blasting away, but the rounds are going straight through Mr. E. And this is when Mr. E absorbs all of these blasts using the blade and shoots them back at Rocket Raccoon, only for Kang the Conqueror to come out and throw up a force field. And so the whole team is moving in on Mr. E. And this is when Captain Marvel makes her approach, and she blasts him and fills him with ultraviolet light, which solidifies him and gives everybody to take their shot. And this is where Kang the Conqueror waves his hand and we see a purple aura surrounding Mr. E, and he is stripped off of Smith. And Kang the Conqueror had made arrangements in anticipation of needing somewhere secure to deposit the symbiote. And that takes us to another part of the galaxy where we have the Collector and we have his showroom. And we see Mr. E locked up inside one of the display cages. And so while they're all sitting here kind of patting themselves on the back, they wonder like, oh, where did the sword go? The Ebony Blade is still missing. And this is when we pick up with Ulik and his sister. And Ulik comes crashing in to try to kill his sister. Because this is the troll way. Troll siblings are supposed to slay one another and the strongest survives. And she never wanted to kill him. But this is when Kang the Conqueror and Rocket Raccoon make their arrival. And all of our heroes come in to save the day and stop him from doing this. And Spider-Man just starts laying punches on Ulik. And Ulik kind of just is like, are you joking? Like, that's all you have? Really? That's all you have? And this is when he gets blasted by Cosmo. And Ulik is just like, holy crap. Like, this place is literally insane. Like, talking dog that can shoot beams, a raccoon that can talk and is wielding guns, trolls, like, this is literally something out of Dungeons and Dragons. And this is when Ulik starts beating the crap out of her brother, and he's down on the ground, and she asks why. Like, she fled all this way to the middle of nowhere to avoid him, and still she couldn't be left alone. But he didn't initially come here for her. He initially came for the sword because the Watcher had sent him to get the sword and to destroy the being who wants to annihilate the universe, the being called Knowhere. And so essentially Ulik was just a means to an end. if these guys and Spider-Man and everybody else failed to get the sword, Ulik was a last resort to try to get it. And at the end of the day, he did really end up getting it. If he hadn't gone back for his sister, who knows how the story would have turned out. But now the heroes have the ebony blade back in their hands, and that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This one for me is this line in particular hasn't been anything spectacular. Seeing Monica Rambeau is really cool as Captain Marvel in this form. So that's a unique thing to see, and I think they did that specifically to line up with what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. But all in all, it's not a bad line. I like seeing the team up of Kang the Conqueror and seeing things like Cosmo pop up. You know, those are always awesome little tidbits to add into a story. And I believe there's one more issue left in this line, so we're going to see exactly what that holds for us and what we're going to be seeing as this line closes out. Now be sure to stay tuned because we've got more King in Black coming out this morning as well as this afternoon, and then we'll be catching up on all of the X-Men line. So be sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we got coming out. And until the next video,